Hi guys, I'm Helen and I'm back with another video. Today we are going to talk about intermittent fasting, or in short IF. So in this video we're going to look at what intermittent fasting is, how it works, and how you can implement it yourself. And then I'm going to add my experience, my personal experience with intermittent fasting. So first of all, what is intermittent fasting? So it's a pattern or cycle of eating and not eating or fasting. There is several plans that you can follow. So you can follow a 14-10, which means 14 hours of fasting, 10 hours of eating. 16-8, 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating. Or other plans like 18-6, or you can actually go with take a week and take 1 or 2 days and do 24-hour fasts in those 1 or 2 days. Now let's look at how it works. So first of all, I am going to tell you I am not an expert in this. We're going to talk about medical stuff, of how the body works, and I am not in the medical field. So if I do get something wrong, please let me know. I hope I'm not getting anything wrong, because I am giving you information that I have researched and I hope it's right. So let's look at the first 2 hours after eating. Your blood sugar rises and your body releases insulin from the pancreas to break down glucose, which you get from your food. Now, excess glucose is stored as glycogen. Now, the next 3 hours, your 2 to 5 hours, is where the body switches to glycogen as an energy source and your blood sugar decreases. 5 to 8 hours is where your blood sugar returns to normal. Your insulin is still dropping and glycogen is still being used as an energy source. 8 to 10 hours is when fat burning enzymes are slowly being activated. Now 10 to 12 hours is your insulin is low and you are still losing glycogen. Now, where the most important part of fasting is your 12 to 18 hours. Now, when you hit that 12-hour mark, you go into ketosis state, and that is where you want to be with intermittent fasting. What is ketosis? Ketosis is where the insulin that is dropping crosses over with fat burning that increases. If you look at a graph, what that means is your body needs a new fuel source because glycogen is now depleted in your liver. So now it takes fatty acids, converts it into ketone bodies or ketones, and your body burns ketones and fat as a fuel source for energy. Now, if you fast long enough and you reach the 18 to 24 hour window, you are going into fat burning mode, meaning your body only uses fat as a fuel source. Your ketones do rise, but ketones play a vital role. Ketones signal molecules that regulate your metabolism better. Okay, I hope that made sense. We're gonna go into how to find your fasting time now. So your fasting time, you need to look at 3 important things: your lifestyle, your weight loss goals, and your insulin response in your body. Now, your lifestyle is easy. That is when you can eat and when you can't, and when you're going to fast. Your weight loss goals, that is how much you want to lose and how fast you want to lose. Now, the insulin response in your body is a bit difficult to measure. Insulin response is just how your body responds to the food you're eating. So if you're eating carbs and sugar, your insulin is going to spike a lot higher than if you would eat broccoli and egg. But how you can regulate your insulin response is by the foods you're eating. So just look at the food, your diet, and then you can figure out your insulin response. Let's look at fasting plans. You get the 14-10, which is a gentle fat burning approach. Then you get the 16-8, which is the fat loss approach. Then you get the 18-6, which is a faster fat loss approach, and it's a little bit more intense. But now we need to be careful. For women, there is something like a stress response if you fast for too long or too frequently. So you want to shorten your fasting time to something like a 14-10 or maybe a 16-8, so that you don't go into the stress response, which can hinder your weight loss. It messes with your weight loss, it can plateau, various things can happen. So let's look at why I chose intermittent fasting for myself. Now, intermittent fasting is not complicated at all. It is easy. It's low effort and it's cheap, because you look at when you eat and not what you eat. Now, talking about what you eat, I am looking at cutting sugars and deep fried food. I do struggle with it, so every now and then I do eat a little bit of sugar and a deep fried chip. But my goal is to cut those two completely and then move over to something else that's a little bit more difficult to cut. But my point is, you have to look at what you eat during your eating times so that the insulin doesn't spike too high like we looked at earlier. How I responded to intermittent fasting. It's the best diet that I've ever done, because I can do it for a long time. I don't quit. Other diets I've maybe done 2 weeks max and then I would quit. I can't do it any longer. It's just too much effort, money, it costs a lot. With intermittent fasting, it's cheap, non-effort, you just don't eat. So I responded very well to intermittent fasting. Benefits I've noticed besides the slow weight loss is that I feel better in my own body. I feel cleaner, if you know what I mean. People have actually approached me and said that they can see I've lost weight. Now, I haven't really lost a lot of weight. I've lost 2 or 3 kilos, which is not really visible. But I think it comes down to my body being a lot more healthier than it was before, and they may be seeing that. Challenges that I have with intermittent fasting. Now, one big challenge that I have is nighttime snacking. Now, I struggled in the beginning a lot with nighttime snacking. I used to eat 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning when I get up out of bed and I want to snack on something. But now, since I started, I slowly got used to the fact that I don't eat at night. In the beginning, I would sit on the bed and moan at my husband that I can't eat, that I want to eat, and sometimes I would eat and break my fast, and then I have to restart. So it is difficult. I still do get hungry at night, but it's not as bad as that intense craving I had for food. So food would be for hunger, but it would also be a cure for boredom, if you know what I mean. Now, I want to show you guys an app that I use. So here is how it looks like on the Play Store. And if you go in it, you can track your fasting time. You can set up the plan that you use, and you can actually track your weight. It gives you quite in detailed list of how you look at your weight, your BMI, a graph of your weight going down, and your BMI, there is a little bar, I'll show it to you, where I'm in the yellow at the moment, and you can see where your weight is on that line, that colored line, which is really good for me. So I know where I am. I'm still in the overweight area on my BMI diagram. I don't know. But let's look at everything we've just discussed. So the main point is your insulin. You need to get that down, and you get that down by what you eat and how long you fast. Women need to be careful of how they fast because of that stress response. that can be triggered by too long of a fast or too frequent of a fast. So, Helen here. So, I realize you guys might be a bit confused when I say that intermittent fasting is just about when you eat, and now I'm talking about what you eat. So, what I mean is that if you want to lose weight fast, then you have to look at what you eat as well as when you eat. So if you just want to do intermittent fasting for health reasons or just maintain your weight, then eat what you want. Just concentrate on when you eat. Yeah, I hope I convinced you guys about intermittent fasting and why I use it and why I'm going to continue using it. I am going to continue on the 14-10, even though the 18 after the 16-8 looks better for faster weight loss. But I'm scared of that stress response kicking in and my weight loss plateauing possibly. So I'm rather going to do the 14-10, which is a slower weight loss plan, but at least I am losing weight. I just have to be a lot more patient with it. So that is my story, and thank you for watching up till the end. If you do enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing and maybe liking the video. For you made it all the way to the end. Great job. Thank you. And bye bye.